before I say anything, I say going through all these years of recruiting, it's been a fun. Oh, cool. It's going through all these years of recruiting. It's been a fun time, but as we all know, all good things must come to an end. After weighing all my options between all my schools, I came to the conclusion that I wanted and that all my family felt very strongly about. So, without further ado, I didn't write my present, but how much tape did you put on this?
I'm sorry. I didn't tape it.
Yo, where'd you put the hat?
I got it. Here you go.
Okay. Let's do attempt number 2. Starting in the fall of 2009, I will be attending Rutgers University. Oh, but wait, there's more. To go along with the hat, I brought a bright red jacket. Look at the hat. Oh yeah.
Anything else, Mark?
Anything else?
Anything else?
Red jacket's beautiful.
Oh, any questions? Any questions?
Mark, what was the deciding factor that led you to choose Rutgers?
Well, I felt very strongly about the program, and I liked the coaches very much, especially Coach Flood, the line coach, which was the main part of my decision.
Can you talk a little bit about the relationship that you have with Flood and how that's developed over the past couple of years?
Well, I first met him at summer camp last year. Went there for a day, and from there we basically hit it off. He's similar to my coaches now. He's like a teacher type, and from that point on, I would do something, he would try to explain it, help me just change what I'm doing, and I just love that about it.
You've watched the line develop over the past couple of years. They've sent some guys on to the next level, and they've had a lot of success. Did that play into your decision?
Well, I mean, the NFL is like 7 or 8 years away. That's way too far. Right now, I'm just kind of worried about high school and college.
When did you finally reach your ultimate decision?
Over the weekend, and maybe a little bit before that, I wrote down everything I wanted out of school, wrote down all the attributes that each of these schools had, and I came to my final conclusion. I talked with my parents, my brothers, and my little sister, and that's how we all felt.
Can you talk about that process and what it was that put Rutgers over the top eventually?
One thing I wanted very much was I wanted to major in business, especially finance. And I just met with the dean of the undergraduate business school, and before now, you had to apply your 3rd year to get into business. And because they're revamping the program, they were allowing me to get in 1st year. And that was one thing that very much put Rutgers in the class with everybody else. And then just from there, it was the coaches and how I felt with them and the players.
What coach, Mark, were you referring to when this gentleman asked the question?
I was referring to Coach Flood, the offensive line coach.
His first name?
Kyle. Coach Kyle Floyd.
Mark, who would you say came in second? Who gave Rutgers like a close run?
It's a tie between BC and Penn. I mean, those two, they both gave you something completely different. But it was a hard decision.
Can you talk about some of the other places that you visited besides Rutgers and maybe just draw some comparisons between the schools?
Well, my brother played at the University of Pennsylvania. He's the reigning first team All-Ivy center. I've been going to those games for 4 years now, and one of the traditions is throwing toast on the field. And I always thought that was fun to do, and they have the Wharton undergraduate program, #1 in the country. That was so hard to turn down. And then Boston College was similar to my high school now. It's proportional to size as if it were college. And it was small, it was Catholic. That was another thing that was hard to turn down too.
What's your brother's name who went to Penn?
His name is Brian. He's standing right behind you with the camera.
Wait, Brian, there you go.
Mark, you've mentioned in the past that your family's very close and your 2 brothers didn't go too far to school. Was that a factor in your decision?
Well, I mean, the distance was not so much of a factor. I wanted to find a place that fit me the best. I mean, most of the schools that I had, with the exception of Florida State, which is very far away, all the schools were relatively close enough that you could drive to see the game or see me. So that was not as much of a factor now.
Can you talk a little bit about the Rutgers program and their tremendous success and how that program has really been turned around the last 3 years and how much of a factor that was?
Well, I mean, of course, as a kid, you always want to be the guy that wins the national championship. So it was a very successful program that was very nice. And just one thing I thought was amazing, I went to the South Florida game last year. And I did not sit down. My voice was completely gone after probably the first quarter. And having an atmosphere like that, I thought was amazing. Nothing wrong with that.
So what do you think are about 15,000 more fans going to make that stadium sound like?
Oh, it could be a little bit louder. There's some opportunity for that, I would think.
This year's class is shaping up to be already a very stellar class. Now can we expect you to be on more of the recruiting, trying to drum up other recruits?
Well, recruiting, it's not exactly my job. What I would do is I would call prospective student athletes, and I would tell them the positives of my selection. I would tell them the positives of Rutgers. I'm not going to be pushy, but I will call people from time to time.
Were there any recruits that helped influence you or somebody that you've befriended along the way?
I mean, I've met many of the recruits. I've been friends with a few of them, but when it came to my decision, it was my decision. It wasn't somebody else's.
Did you talk to Mike Z?
No, I have not.
Mom and Dad, how do you feel about this decision and your thoughts on the program?
As you said, it really was his choice. When we went to Rutgers, the coaching staff did make a big difference. He showed up one day and he told the coach, Shiano, he said that, coach came out and asked him, what would stop you from taking my program? He said, I can't get into your business program until junior year. At the end of the day, coach said, hey, by the way, we can get you in the business program. I talked to the dean. So we said, well, we want to talk to the dean, and we did next week, but the school is willing to work with him and help him along as far as they can. And that made a difference.
You're a former D1 athlete, right? You probably gave some kind of influence, right?
Sure. Yeah, I played my share of sports, but in terms of football, I mean, that's a whole different bag. Anyway, what I was impressed with at Rutgers was specifically the coaching staff. They were very inclined to help us along the way. Anything that we could have used for Mark, any decision-making, issues, they were more than welcome to address. They're really proactive. I was impressed with Coach Shiano, the way he promotes his family atmosphere and his coaching, techniques. I mean, he's a hands-on kind of guy, but he's gentle in a sense with wanting to build these young men into mature men. That's one of his key phrases along the way. Anyway, what else I think helped Mark, which he did not mention, was that they definitely need a center. They need a backup, and they're interested in developing him quickly, and so he can get in the game maybe after a redshirt year. And I think that also was key. Nobody mentioned that he's has a lot of playing time ahead of him.
Every time we left Rutgers, we always felt better than the last time we were there. Whether seeing Coach Shiano and then Coach Flood and then some of the other coaches, but it was just...
Yeah, they were the key in getting Mark. The coaching staff was absolutely the key. It wasn't the big stadium, it wasn't the facilities or the closeness, it was the coaching staff that landed them. They're excellent recruiters. They did a great job.
Has the staff talked to you about possibly playing guard, or is it solely looking towards the center spot?
Well, Coach Flood's philosophy was that you recruit centers and you recruit tackles, and then along the way you would shift into guard. So they're currently taking me as a center.
Can you talk about your upcoming senior season here, about Immaculata, and how the coaching staff here has sort of prepared you to mold you into D1 athlete?
Well, I mean, going in practice every day, we're always working very hard, and yes, I do give them a lot of credit for preparing me. And for this upcoming season, I look forward to working hard, getting my linemen to work hard, and finishing my high school career at Rutgers for a state championship, so I can end my high school career in one place and start in the center, start my college in the center.
Do you have any special messages for the now tremendously growing fan base at Rutgers?
be repaired. It's going to be a fun ride.